Pornography and masturbation have become two of the most talked about topics, I think, amongst young people in Nigeria today. It's borderline become sort of a norm, especially in countries outside of Nigeria, where it's almost expected that you should partake of it because you are trying to discover yourself. However, there's so much information about it that people don't even know about that could really enlighten them and get them to understand the dangers in actually participating in pornography and masturbation. And above all, is it actually right for us as Christians, as children of God, as human beings that God has designed to live and function on the earth? And some of these questions today will be answered by my guest, who is the author of Beneath the Sheets. He's been through his own struggles with pornography and masturbation, and he has come through on the other side. So we're going to be talking to Toluleke Aduradola.
Yeah.
What up, G?
I'm gentle, I'm good.
How you doing now?
I'm fine.
So the first time we met, you had, the first interaction we had I had just told my story or something,
Yeah.
and then you had sent me, more like his wife. Hey, there's a wonderful, that story for another day, Tolu and his wife, but your wife had sent me your book.
Mm-hmm.
And once I opened it, I couldn't stop. I read it in one go. And I remember that it became sort of the blueprint for this show, actually, for the guests, and for the topics. And I was writing some notes. And it's actually become a really great resource material for the devotional study guide that I'm planning to do after the show. So thank you very much for that. I thank you for being so vulnerable and open. I think there's something in itself about being vulnerable and open that Nigerian men need to understand from just listening to your story. Well, and congratulations on your baby boy.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Toluleke just had his second child. He said his last child. I want to be a kid. Okay, that's fantastic. So, really quickly, let's talk about you, because I've heard your story a few times and I've read it as well. But for people who might not have read Beneath the Sheets or who might not have got an opportunity to hear you speak, what is the story?
I was born in a typical pastor's home.
Mm-hmm.
Morning devotion and night devotion.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, so it was very deep like that. And then somewhere my late primary school,
mm-hmm.
There were already little expressions of lust. Apparently the devil had plans for me. With lust. Now, peeping through keyholes.
Okay.
This
is when you were in primary school?
Yeah, primary school, going to secondary school. But a major turnaround was in Jesus 3.
Okay.
When I was molested by a senior.
In school?
Yes.
You were in boarding school?
I was in boarding school. I've been in boarding school since Jesus 1.
Wow.
And that's junior secondary. That messed me up. That was like the beginning of my problems, my sorrow, my bitterness, anger, low self-esteem,
wow.
and stuff like that. And then we were scared of seniors much more than teachers or the principal. I've been to many schools now, talking about the same issue, and I see how seniors and juniors interact. I'm like, you guys are chilling. In those days,
back in the day,
we would rather get into trouble with our principal or our parents than to get into trouble.
And you would say the senior's name by their last name, senior last name, not the first name.
So I'll help him. I won't mention his name. So that was Jesus 3, and he made me give him oral sex.
Wow.
That was a total different phase. Like I was bitter, I was angry. I was always, in fact, anger became a major issue. At some point in my life, my mom had to type something, a quote on anger, and paste in my room. So I can never forget, anger is a small madness. So do nothing when you're angry, because what you will spoil will be more than what costs the anger. So all of these things was an offshoot of that experience? Of course, because I couldn't talk to anybody about it. So it just kept getting worse.
Did anybody give you sex talk or sex, education, talk about the birds and bees, for you to know that, because sometimes when you have that information, if something like that happens, then you can't know the gravity of what's been done?
No, except from my parents, my mom, and it's even interesting. Until today, I'm married with 2 children by the grace of God. Yeah. My mom can still mention the word sex conveniently.
Really?
To me, yes. Now it's interesting. Fine, there is a major gap. Generational gap and all of that. Yes. But it's for me to understand that in raising my own children, I must be familiarize myself with whatever trends.
Gotta be able to do it.
That is in place. Yeah. Whatever these guys are, exposed to, I also must understand so that it will help our relationship. So puberty was slow for me. Of course, everyone's body anatomy or whatever is different. I didn't understand that. But because literally all my classmates, especially in SS3, were really expressing some of these things. Deep voice. My voice was still very tiny. Little
but now
stuff
the
here and
voice is so...
You get, and guys would gist about wet dreams. I never experienced all of that. And then, because I've been dealing with lust already, I was just messed up. I was confused. Am I okay? Am I really a guy? And guys would tease. Guys are not so emotionally intelligent compared to ladies. I mean, they don't just send.
Plus, even the culture in Nigeria facilitates that sort of behavior.
And so they'll tease you and you will laugh together. But when I'm alone, I'm really worried. I'm really just messed up and all of that. And so I had a good plan.
Okay.
It seemed like a good plan then.
Okay.
Maybe if I really intentionally browse, check some naked pictures and stuff.
It would
maybe
enhance
my system to actually function.
To bring it out.
And then I'll just start saying certain things and I'll be comfortable and just once, the one-off. Of course, now the devil is smarter than that.
It's never one
the first time would never be the last.
Yes.
And then, so that was the beginning of another struggle. But I achieved what I wanted to achieve.
So it did actually?
Yeah, it actually did. So,
okay.
So my first wet dreams was in 100 level.
Really?
Yeah. And I remember when I woke up and all that, I called my best friend. Do you know what just happened?
It has happened.
It was a big deal. It was a major big deal. But of course, the porn issue had started. So from pictures to emotion now, videos, and then videos. Oh my God, the average typical porn site, website, has somehow up to 200, 300 categories.
Yes.
Porn.
Yes. It's crazy.
Each category can have as many as 2,000.
Yes. Yes.
So you have a lot of...
There's so much variety.
The library is rich. yeah, really. And it's intentional because they're also working. He knows what he's doing. So it keeps you glued on that screen. And so I'll charge my phone, charge my laptop.
It's so funny how much work you put into. Like at some point for me, it was even like a reward system. So I would let myself. I would do work. I'll work for a while. Like okay, now that I finished my work,
like leaving your meat.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
And that's really how it was. And it was terrible. It was getting worse, of course, because it's a very secretive habit. Yes. No one knew about it. I was sinking deeper. Things just got worse. I eventually, it's not in my book, but you get this here. I engaged in bestiality once. So that's a human being and an animal.
Wow.
Yeah. It happened once, but it happened. Because I never could forgive myself. And it got me scared too. Very scared, very worried. Like, what are the other crazy things that are capable of doing?
But you know the funny thing, this is where I probably should say this, and I say this to people all the time, just to even help you, I'm sure even with now and anybody else who might be going through this, is that there is nothing that any human being cannot do.
Yeah.
The only thing that keeps us from doing the things that we think, I can never do this, is the grace of God. Literally. But it's all this, people who end up being dictators, who are just, killing people all over the place, they were not born. At the time they were like 6 months, we're not thinking, we are going to. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So that's I guess that covers majority. Of course, this thing went into university now, and then even into marriage.
Wow.
Yeah, because people believe that. In fact, someone asked me yesterday or the day that he believes marriage would, help sort all his lost issues, all his, his horniness and all of that. I said no. Sadly, no, because there's a relationship that's a very strong relationship that's been built with lust, with porn. That relationship is so strong that marriage cannot even come between it. And so what it does to people is, because you've not sorted your lust to your porn addictions, or your masturbation issues, and all of that, when you get into marriage, your wife or your husband, whichever, would never be enough for you. Now, pornography is based on fantasy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you remember the directors, the article I put in the book by a porn director.
Yeah, I remember that.
He just wrote an article. In his own mind, I believe, he was trying to hype the work that they do. There's a lot of...
But it was exposing a lot of stuff.
a lot of re-injections, a lot of drug taking, a lot of editing, the videos, all of that. It's based on fantasy. So it helps, my work. Now, because it is built on fantasy, and because, you've been watching something over and over again, it becomes your new reality, even though it is not realistic. So what I mean is, you've watched this thing over and over again, different types. You are used to seeing every type of woman or race, squirts. For those that know what squirting is, I don't think I need to explain. Now, naturally or realistically, it's only a particular race, or you may be Spanish or Mexican ladies or so, that's actually squirts. Blacks don't have any business with really majorly. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
But in porn,
everybody.
In porn, you can have sex for 3 hours straight. It is not possible.
How? Are you ashamed?
But in porn, it's possible. But these guys break. They have breaks, take more drugs.
They
inject even their penises and stuff. So, but because you've seen this thing over and over again, and your mind just makes you believe that this is achievable. When you now get into marriage, you expect those things from your wife, but you cannot express your desires to your spouse. Because again, it is out of order, it's out of place, it's not
because even you know that you'll be mad as you are saying, they'll be like,
and you know to create a crazy kind of suspicions or you want to cause issues for yourself. You can get her worried or him worried that he may have to go report you to someone that will really talk to you or whatever. I don't tell anyone your business. Because it's a very secretive. So you see how the issues just keeps you
trapped. The devil just keeps you trapped in that.
Once your partner is not enough for you, and them come from the angle of a guy, because porn affects 70% of men. Now, your wife is not enough for you, and you cannot express what you would desire from your wife. You definitely cheat.
Because you can't be satisfied by what just her is giving you.
The direct pornography is an English word. In the Greek word for pornography is pornographia. It's a combination of two words, porno with an apostrophe on the O, and graphene. Graphene from graphics, whatever you can see. The porno, which is a Greek word, the direct English translation is prostitute or prostitution. There's a direct link between pornography and masturbation and prostitution, sex trade, sex slave, rape. It's a big issue. Of course, once you've gone out, because your wife is not enough for you, of course, there are things you can do with a prostitute that you cannot do with your wife. Yeah? But even the prostitutes, there are limits. I've interviewed a prostitute before, and I asked Suj, I just really wanted to know, hope I'm not just being abstract in my book. And I got the true picture. With the prostitute, there are still boundaries. Yeah, there's a lot more you can do with a prostitute that you can't do with your wife, but there are still boundaries. And if the lust has really eaten deep into your mind, you will never get satisfied from a prostitute if care is not taken. Vulnerable, innocent cousin. children or
Wow.
stuff. Rape comes into the picture.
Wow.
Crazy stuff. So there's the tendencies, the extreme tendencies are, I don't even know what word to use, but it's there, it's real. And the fact that you do not know, you're not sure of what you're actually capable of doing.
Exactly, because you don't know what you're
It's a terrible
crazy. Okay. Thank you for this quick catch up. So we're going to talk about different points within the story. So at what point? Because you said you grew up in a Christian family, but I don't assume that from the moment you were born, you were born again. At what point did you get born again? Do you remember?
I remember when I was leaving secondary school. I was around. It was around 2005.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember that I guess I was just tired of stuff. I was really tired. There's still that innocence that is a part of me. I just wanted more. So it's not enough to be born again. It's not enough to just desire to be different. There are actually things that needs to be done.
Okay. So obviously that means that even after you gave your life to Christ, you were still,
of course,
engaging in masturbation, pornography, and all of that.
See, there were a lot of relapses, countless. See, I was president of fellowship in my uni. Yeah. Oh yes.
Just so you guys know,
it's reduced. Oh, it reduced to a barest minimum. I was having a wonderful time then, because I knew the gravity.
Would you say that was the Spirit of God inside of you working?
Yes, and then because there was consistency with a lot of things that to do with God.
Okay.
Because I was the leader, I need to read my own Bible more. I need to,
because you have to be able to
spend quality. My quiet time has to be serious. I need to pray more and all of that. So it's suppressed. When there's a lot of good coming in, that analogy now. When you take a Coke bottle with Coke in it and put it under a tap, after a while, everything just becomes, colorless and all of that. That was happening to me, and it was happening so well and so good. But of course, 1 or 2 times, I relapsed. But I quickly, picked myself up. But after uni, I left. I think people are more. I think we're quite very spiritual and serious with God when we were in school. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot at stake.
I think it might be the environment where you're kind of in a hub and a bubble. There's not so much outside that you're exposed to.
And the kind of school I went to were very controlled. We were very, and that helped. But when I left again, work, hustling, trying to really, sort myself out career-wise, professionally, and that stress, because when you're stressed, one seems to be a good friend. When
they even say it's that psychologically it's supposed to be a stress reliever.
Yes, it is. It is. When you're tired, when you're angry, when you're disappointed, when you get a bad news, when it just shows up.
Greatest friend.
Let me help you. Let me just calm you down.
Let me sort you out.
And you enjoy it while it happens. Of course, afterwards, that guilt tripping, and then trying to distract yourself from the guilt. You have to just keep doing more porn. Just keep doing more to keep, shutting your mind and all of that. It was a very stressful journey.
So when did it finally? So did your wife know? I mean, because after school, I'm guessing between school and getting married, how many years was that?
Yeah, that was about 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So in that 4 or 5 years, meeting your wife, courting, getting engaged, all of that, did she know that this had been your struggle?
So when I met my wife, or when I was able to confirm that this was the person I was going to get married to, because I was in a very good place, my work with God, the particular time like that. The first thing I told her, before we even started the relationship, I knew that it was my wife. I just knew. When I saw her, I met her through my best friend. He just went to greet her. He was friends with her. And then we left. When we left, I just said, guy, there's something about this girl. The guy just, guy talk. You have come again, you're not serious for that. But I knew what. I just knew. I just knew, I didn't hear any voice or nothing. I just knew.
Just kind of had a feeling.
And when we started talking, I think the first or second time that we had time to talk, I just told that guy, lady, I mean, sorry, because she acts like she used to be a tomboy. I'm trying to combat.
Yeah.
I said, hey, young lady, I have a problem with porn.
Wow.
I am not free 100% yet, but I'm way better
Than where I'm
compared to
coming from.
I'm not where I used to be. I'm not where I need to be. But trust me, there's a massive change that happened to me. But I need you to be aware. You need to know we need to, work this thing out together.
This was before you even got engaged?
Before, long before. I said the relationship has not even properly started itself.
And what was her response?
She because she's my wife, I believe. she took it in well. She was very supportive. She's my number one accountability partner. Even though I met someone else before her, that was already even no matter how cool someone is and all that, we get to a point where we are also tired of telling the person the same thing over and over again. So, and that's another part that the devil is just... That's why it's better when people complain. As, uncle, I've been to many secondary schools. Uncle, I've not had sex before. I've not kissed anybody before. But I always feel like I should do it. Uncle, it's not easy. I say, sincerely, it's not easy. But that pressure you feel is a better pressure compared to the person that has been there and is trying to get out.
Get out, honestly.
There are pressures either way. But the person that's trying to get out is facing a much more intense pressure. So God helped me, and we've been working this in. So, but initially in marriage, it wasn't easy because I've been used to myself, just me. So I got to a point where I did not need a video.
Your mind could do it
to
for
ejaculate.
you.
I did not even need to forget. When you say wank, there's something like this just happening, guys, so you are throwing dice or whatever. I did not need to do all of that. I needed to just be in bed and condition my mind, and in 2-3 minutes,
wow.
I ejaculated.
Wow. So, because I think there are a lot of people, and this is why I tagged this episode "The Truth About Porn," because people don't know a lot of this stuff, that it can get to that point. But the question I want to ask is, with your wife, how did you even get to? Because, like you said, a lot of what keeps people trapped in these sorts of sexual addictive sin is the shame, and the devil really plays up that shame factor so that you can never speak up about it. And if you never speak up about it, you can never get transformation and healing and change. So how were you even able to summon up the courage? What was that process like, telling your wife in the first place? Because people can't even tell their friends, let alone tell the girl that they're sort of...
I guess I was tired of struggling, and then I know this was a good place. This one is for this, I say for better for worse.
For better for worse.
We're going to be together
forever.
Like me, I knew.
Yes.
Yeah, I did not need a response from her. I knew. So if she says, even if she told me no, it doesn't matter that she'll come around. But so I knew that this was a safe place to, let's know our issues, let's know what we need to start working on, let's identify the problem, and I'm sure she was also going to be supporting prayers and whatever. I just needed that support, so I needed us to be on the same page, because I was getting it from someone else too, and we still talk, but of course, when it comes to your wife now, she has to be number one.
So when did it eventually, altogether, the whole thing, when did it stop?
Because of there's a peculiarity about with porn addiction. It doesn't just suddenly leave. No. If I was talking to someone recently that the person will say, I've been struggling with this thing. Yes, now I'm on 62 days. I said, can you stop counting? One day at a time. Because thank you for yesterday, and that's what I do. Oh, yesterday I was a good boy. That's how I talk. I talk to God. I didn't do nothing terrible. I didn't even look at the lady that bends down twice, whatever. And that's how serious. And because these are triggers. Triggers. It's sad. And there are certain billboards that are triggers.
Jonathan, I was telling you,
children, everybody, and there are many people that are struggling. There are many good people that are trying to know what. But want Akuba,
everywhere,
Akuba billboards and
real.
stuff. And our minds, it just is one corner,
Yes.
waiting for you to be
depressed
or angry or something, and then
out.
to just, and
Which is interesting. How did you deal with the triggers? Because for me,
I'm still dealing with it.
you're still okay. So how do you deal with the triggers? Because for me, my first step when I made my own commitment was I had to unfollow a bunch of people. I had to block a bunch of contacts. I had to, delete a lot of stuff. At least that was the starting point.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to be very careful just moving forward. So even when I would go visit friends and stuff, before I get there, I'd ask who's coming, just to make sure that I wasn't put myself in danger.
Yeah.
So for you, how do you deal with the triggers?
I think mine is distracting distractors, man.
Distracting distractors.
So once there's something that's come up, that's if I don't do something about, I will definitely eventually later at night or whatever do porn. I quickly just distract my, it's because this thing works on the mind.
So you don't like to settle your mind.
I don't like to settle, and sometimes I'm physical.
Okay.
So if you happen to just see me at the moment where I'm trying to distract myself, you probably think this guy is going crazy. Sometimes I'm literally just. And it's just real.
But you have to be aggressive about it.
You have to, because the devil is aggressive about what he's doing, man.
Yeah.
And it's obvious that he does a lot of work.
Yes.
A lot of work. And
that's why it's so easy to find these triggers now.
He's very organized.
Works himself.
He's very organized. He's very detailed. He's the prince of this world, guy. So we need God's help. And of course, you pray every time, anytime. When I see one distraction, I quickly just, tune in. Just play a particular song, maybe if I'm in a car, whatever. Any opportunity to just keep that presence, make it and keep it strong. There's certain songs that gets me high.
Quick.
There are certain guys
get there quickly.
When I listen to these songs, man, I mean, there's no way many dirty thoughts can
permeate that.
Of that. So you have to distract. Yeah, keep yourself busy, man. Idleness is a bastard. Because of course, once you have nothing doing, nothing serious, the devil will give you something to do, and he won't give anything good. He
never gives anything
ultimately destroy you. So I hear people that are not probably spiritually inclined, so they say, "Come on, this is not a big deal. You guys are just overflogging it." I've been doing this, and nothing terrible has happened to me 10 years, 20 years. The sad thing, what they don't know is how wicked the devil is. He can decide to have someone as his projects, and I'll destroy you in 50 years.
And just working on you.
So the 30th year, you're fine. Nothing seems to happen. You're doing well, your career, in fact, you get awards, whatever.
Until you get
to the 49th
there,
year, everything seems, once he clicks that 50, sadly, but see what's happening to popular people that will know. Bill Cosby.
Yeah, true. Because for so many years, your career is going great.
Bill Clinton is not known. His wife that is known because of this sex scandal thing, whatever. The devil just waits. Bill Cosby is old. He's not feeling too well. Yes, he's rich. But trust me, those layers will squeeze out everything. So his old age is supposed to be enjoying maybe with his children.
But he's going from court to court.
Sick.
Yeah.
Probably, being escorted by doctors and stuff. It's not a way to live.
It's not a way to live.
The later part of your life.
That's so true.
And that's the devil for you. So at that point, you get to a point where you are two extremes. You can either just totally go to God, I really need you, or just totally I don't a wicked God. And that's where the devil actually wants you.
That's where he wants to get you.
And it goes on and on.
So 2 questions, really quickly. First of all, one of the major consequences that we know comes from pornography and masturbation addiction is intimacy. When you do get married, intimacy, and then your sex life. How did that work for you? How were you able to deal with intimacy? Especially because for you, while you're married, at least it was still happening.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, but of course, feeding my mind with new stuff. Because if I don't feed my mind with new stuff, what has been there before will continue to have effect on me. So communicating with my wife, what do you like? How do you like it? Sexual talk.
Sexual talk, like
we are really
what do you want to be
just
touched,
talking.
things like that.
How do you, let me just, so that once she expresses her desires and interest to me, I can, respond. When I respond, our own response too in return, validates me. Makes me feel good as a guy. I'm doing my work.
I'm doing it well.
And so that's just going on.
I like that.
Fine.
I like that.
So we need communication. Man.
Communication was key.
Communication is actually everything.
Okay. I'm going to take you back to something that might be a bit touchy for you. A little bit. Okay. So, what were the thoughts? Because you mentioned the part of bestiality, and this is something you write in your book. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I really want people to get the sense that if you've done anything that's completely out of character within the societal context, you are not abnormal, you are not crazy, you are not a weirdo. Anybody has capability to do anything. You just happen to be vulnerable in your mind that the devil took hold of it. However, I want to just get that sense. So what happened? What led to that exactly? What was that situation like? How were you able to forgive yourself? How were you able to move past it?
What got me into it? Porn evolves.
Yes.
And as porn evolves, the porn industry, the porn world evolves. The users of porn also evolve. Their responses.
They want more. They want different things.
And that's it. You just keep wanting more. So you have done different kind of masturbation, different types, use different instruments, different things. But you just keep wanting more. So no one is at home. It's just you. And someone brought a bird, maybe Christmas time. The thought it just comes as a flash. But if you're still idle, you're not doing anything about it, you're not distracting yourself from that distraction, you definitely fall. Now, after falling, of course, you will go through the journey of guilt. Oh my God, so I did many other calls, many rededications. Serious, and I was serious about those rededications. But because I had not started doing certain things that I was supposed to be doing, I still kept going back. So I had to work on my mind a lot. This is not who I am. Yes, I've done some of these crazy things. That if it is known outside, the world will probably just tag me as whatever. But deep down, God, you still care about me. I'm still alive. The Bible says once you're alive, there's hope. So there's still hope. There's still one tiny piece of hope. There's still one little, ray of light somewhere. So that's kept me going. Then talking to my mentor that you've met, helped a lot. Even though I rarely talk to him, God just had to send someone, and I prayed, God, okay, lead me to someone that you used to actually help. And he did, in a friend of mine. That was just the beginning of, my God.
I love it. All right, well, thank you so much. I wish I had a lot more time with you too, because I really wanted us to, dispel and unpack all these myths and to bring the truth about a lot of these things that society has, first of all, no information about. Second of all, believes the wrong things about. I think it's very, 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 very important. But anyways, we'll get more time another time. But thank you so much. Thank you for being so honest about this.
Thank you for having me.